All right, everybody, up on the dyno, we have this 2023 Challenger Elite. We installed the 112 big bore kit, 540 cams from Lloyd's Motorworks, S&S Stealth air cleaner. Snorkel is removed. We also added the Speedflow lid, the lift box for the fuel tank. I do have a base flash in the ECU already, and we've completed the ring set-in procedure. So we're gonna get you guys all set up. We're gonna start logging on this, get some data, make a new flash for it, and keep working on it. Let's get you parked over here. So like I said at the start of the video, we put a base file in the ECU before we get started on the dyno. Before we even start the bike, after the build, we put a base file in that bike just so it's pretty well close. And this combination of parts, 112, 540s, that exhaust system, we've done quite a few with that combo. So we have good vetted maps that will be close. But the truth is, every bike is a little different. We're not comfortable just doing a flash tune on a bike like this and then sending it with the customer and then blaming some other part because they have a check engine light. Oh, it must be this, must be that. I don't know. We go through every bike. They get heat cycled in the shop. They go onto the dyno. We do a ring set-in procedure on the dyno. And once all of that is completed, we roll through the tuning process. So what we're doing here is we're going to start at low RPM to wide open throttle, run it through the full RPM range. And we'll keep doing that until we get down to about 3/4 throttle, up to about red line. After that's completed, then I bring the bike down to about 1500 RPM, and I'm going to use the eddy current brake on the dyno, and I can hold it at 1500. Then I can hold it at 1750. And then we're going from almost no load, like you're just crawling through a parking lot, into loading into the throttle, getting into a higher load range, collecting as much data as we can across the whole fueling map. This way I can go through, do one large correction, flash it back into the bike, run through it again. I'm going to do this process 2, 3, some bikes 4 or 5 times until we get it perfect. There's no magic button, there's no secret to it, there's just working. So that's what we're doing here. But anyway, we'll get back to the video and enjoy that American V-twin sound. Alright guys, we're back on it. New flash is going in right now. Just going over the data on this one. We've tuned this combination of parts numerous times. So I'm going to start with a map that is made for this combination of parts. And there's spots on the map where it's 13, 14, there was a couple spots 18% off on fueling. That just goes to show there's not a secret, there's not a magic button. If your bike's not getting tuned for its combination of parts, it's a compromised tune. So that's why we take the time on every bike that we do here in shop. It goes on the dyno, we tune everything in-house every time. So let's get this flash in there and we'll get back to rolling on it, do some more logging, find the spots that need to be corrected yet. We'll do some output runs, see where we're at, see what she needs. Alright, the new tune file is in. We're going to get this thing back up to operating temperature and start logging on it. it's turning out really good. Let's take a look at what we got going on here. So in our log data, we're a lot closer. Everything's looking a lot better. We keep the narrowband factory sensors attached so that we can monitor what the factory ECU is calling for, make sure everything's working properly together. But even for wide open throttle, here is our current output. Right now we're sitting at 144.89 and 140.78 foot-pounds of torque. Nice smooth graph. I'm gonna go after some timing now. We got fueling pretty much dialed in. I'm gonna make some more fueling corrections at wide open throttle. A couple spots, it's a little lean when we first come on. Air fuel ratio is down here in the bottom left. After about 2,500, it's on the money. All the way through that run, that's looking really nice. So we're gonna do a little more cleanup there, go after some ignition timing, see if anything pops up some more power, smooth out cruise some more, finish this one up, get it ready for the customer. All right, we got what should be our last flash in this thing. We're gonna get this bike fired up, get up to operating temperature, see if it changes. Did good, did bad? We'll find out. Get you mounted up over here, get this thing warming up. up with. So this was the run before with the other timing, the blue run here with the previous timing. It was at 144.89, 140.78. So we actually lost a little bit of horsepower and torque with the increased timing. So this one doesn't need it. We're going to go back to the old timing map. Fueling looks on the money now. If we go to our wide open throttle run, all the way through, holding right around that 13.0 mark. So we're good there. Minimal change. That's what the ECU is calling for. This one's perfect. We'll get this one ready for the customer.